Right, yeah, thanks very much, Mal. So, yeah, hi, my name is Rob. I'm the creative director at Hyper Luminal Games. So we are a games company based in Dundee in Scotland. We are about 35 people now, and we've been on the go for just over 7 years. And we do a bunch of different things. We do a lot of work for hire. We do, game production, sort of entertainment games, gamification type games. We do porting work, QA work, lots of different work for hire stuff. And then we also do a lot of original IP development, so our own internal products. And that's more specifically where I'm involved day to day. I help the team kind of ideate and come up with new cool game concepts, and then we build out vertical slices and pitch them, and hopefully get funding secured to then build full products. So I want to talk about one of those today. So if I just share my screen, and hopefully you guys can all see this okay. Yeah, so I want to talk about a game called Cloud Jumper. So Cloud Jumper is a game that we're working on at the moment. And for the topic of small world, I wanted to focus on the world of Cloud Jumper and kind of talk about something that I feel is interesting, that I've kind of sort of struck on that I don't really understand yet. And I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit and see if there's something interesting there, because it's something that I'd like us as a company, no matter what game we make, I think, to try and get into our products, because I think there's something really interesting about it. But just as a bit of context, this is Cloud Jumper. So it's a really chill game, basically, about exploring the sky, right? You're this little tugboat and you fly around this world and you kind of meet characters and do quests and collect items and craft stuff. So it's a really chill game. It was featured at the Wholesome Direct this year at E3. And it's our latest flagship IP, and we're currently in discussions with publishers to try and bring it to market. So this is where it is at the moment, but just before development began, I think there were some really important things that happened that informed the kind of initial building blocks of the game. And this is where I think there's something interesting. So in August of 2019, I actually lost my dad very suddenly to cancer. So this was a really challenging time for me and my family, and it's something that I'm still kind of dealing with and learning about all the time. And then not long after that, we then, COVID happened, right? And we all went into isolation, and everyone's kind of dealing with anxiety and uncertainty and just a kind of unknown future, right? So at this time, I wasn't feeling great, and I was kind of thinking, okay, what can I do to kind of make myself feel a bit better? And I turned to what I'd normally always do is my work. I love the work that I do. And so I wanted to do another personal project, right? But I kind of wanted to put the personal back into personal project, because when I'm doing my own things, as the creative director of the company, I'm often thinking kind of commercially. So like, what can we build that might, penetrate into a market that we've not done before, or what's in right now, and what do we want to build that's kind of related to that? And it's like, I don't want to do that. I want to do something that's really important to me and makes me feel really happy, irrespective of whether it ever sees the light of day, just the kind of joy of making it, right? So I started thinking about, what do I love? I love Studio Ghibli, right? And their worlds and their stories and the music, and they're just places that I would love to be in. And I love pixel art, right? Just the colors and the sort of simplistic sort of visuals and the sort of subject matter. I just love all that stuff. I love Studio Ghibli pixel art, right? Just take the two and smash that together, and I'm all over it. I love Porter Robinson, so like, really sort of thick electronic music, very layered, and all the aesthetic that kind of goes along with this. I love exploring nature and like finding weird things out in the forest, right? So bonus points for anyone who knows where that is. It's not too far outside of Dundee. And I love things that make me feel nostalgic. So this is Lilac Wars or Star Fox 2, I think, depending on where it was localized. But one of the first games I ever played, really, and it's stuck with me ever since. And I think it was a big sort of influence. So I kind of took all these things and I was like, look, I just want to start smashing these into the Unity editor and building things out. And, this boat kind of appeared, and clouds, and, the sky, and all this movement and these little islands and things off in the distance. And it kind of just grew and tumbled very naturally out of that. Yeah, one of the really cool things right at the bottom there, the last GIF was one that really struck on Twitter, and it really started to build a real social following, which I was very pleased with. And the mechanics of Cloud Jumper and the story of Cloud Jumper are all about kind of repairing a broken world and reaching out to people and helping, and kind of using that to then empower yourself to then upgrade and move farther out. And it kind of made sense later. I didn't realize it at the time, but the social media impact is so important, like building a community around the game and getting people excited about the game, and everyone who sees this wants to be in this world with you as well. And there was something just really powerful about that. So this is where Cloud Jumper is at now. Now that I've sort of hands off on it in terms of a developer, and it's come into the studio, and my wonderful team has started to really work on it, and they've just built out this incredible world, and it's just beautiful, and I love being in it, and just the music, and it's all just turned into something really amazing. But the really cool thing is, I think that sense of sincerity that kind of built the original building blocks is still there. And when publishers play this, they get that, right? They say that they feel that kind of sense of loss from the world, and that kind of story really comes through. And no matter how big it's gotten, there still feels like there's a gooey little core there that's been maintained. So I'm really, really proud of that. So just some food for thought of like the future, right? Like in terms of running the studio with this product, like how does that scale is a question, right? You know, I think the creative vision of a game needs to adapt to every team member that comes on board, right? Because everyone needs to be able to own a little piece of it. So is there a critical mass where the sincerity of that game starts to become diluted because there's so many people involved? You know, do you need to sacrifice something there to maintain that? I'm not too sure yet. And then also, is this limited by life experience, right? It was inspired by something that happened to me, but you know, I don't have all the answers for that. And I think that's where a larger studio really helps, right? Because you can pull so many different experiences from different people and tell so many more accessible stories that aren't just about what I've experienced, right? It's about what other people have experienced as well. So that's pretty much it, just scratching the surface. I could talk about Cloud Jumper for days, but if anyone has any questions, I'd love to answer them. And also go wishlist Cloud Jumper on Steam, please, because it helps support lots of very talented developers. So yeah, thank you.